All right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Nathaniel and Morgan. You guys have seen them in the hunts if you watch the YouTube channel. And if you watch Kelly Girl Training, Rocky's female pup that Morgan or Nathaniel bought from my friend Dean, his female. It was her second litter. And she's in the videos that we're doing the training on. Like I said in a post I made on Instagram, he's doing all the work. I'm just kind of steering the helm every once in a while. So good to have you guys on. And Morgan's been in the videos too because he's helping us, and he's Nathaniel's younger brother. So we're all just gonna chat a little bit about what we did. I know some of you guys have been asking for this podcast to kind of see what Nathaniel has been doing, like how he got her to sit and how we did do this and that. I mean, there's some things that are just in the video, but then there's other things that we can talk about on here. We don't have time in the video sometime, but anyways, let's get started. One of the things, this sounds like such an easy thing, like teaching a dog to sit in some ways, and then some ways it's like, man, how do you get him to sit? Yeah. So, I mean, what did you do?
Well, basically, honestly, Mom and Dad kind of did it mainly. They just, because I was working, I think, or at school, something like that. Well, anyways, Brother Dean said try treats, and we did at first, but she'd just go nuts and start jumping around and everything. She didn't do very well with that. After she learned to sit, then she did it good because she knew what she was supposed to do. But anyways, we just, every time we'd sit by her or anything, we'd say sit and just push her hind end down over and over and over, and then she just got the word sit means to sit down.
Yeah. Basically. And that only took a couple days, right?
It took 3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days, yeah. And you did it probably so many times.
We did it a lot.
Every day.
Yeah.
You know. And I don't even remember exactly how I did with Rocky. I know I used a little bit of treats because I was kind of hold it, and he wouldn't jump up, though. Every dog's different. So that's what shows there's so many different ways. One thing I wanted to say at the beginning of this, and we're not going to stay on this forever. We're going to talk about some other things too besides just dog training. But one of the things I wanted to say is when you guys that are listening to this, you look things up. There's so many people. There's Freddie King. There's Chris Aiken. There's Chris Jawman. I mean, I just named 3 that I highly respect and are good dog trainers. Lone Duck Outfitters. That's actually, I can't remember his first name. He has a podcast as well. He's the one that told me about Chris Aiken when I started Rocky's training. He's like, I go, is there any DVDs or anybody out there that could give me, that I could train and just do it myself since I don't have the money to send them off? And he suggested Chris Aiken's DVDs. So that's really how it all started. It's kind of funny.
Oh, really?
So, anyways, what I was going to say is every person that you dog training you watch has a different method. It's kind of the same give or take for the most part. But if you look, it's like they do it this way. Some guys don't like e-collars. Some guys won't do ear pinch. They think it's wrong. So in training. So I mean, there's just so many different ways, and a lot of guys think they know better than the next guy, and they're like, oh, you guys are wrong. There's obvious things that are wrong, but like, we're not going to take any offense. I know there's some comments. People have been pretty good in the comments with Kelly, I think, in the YouTube videos. I haven't really seen anybody kind of razz a little bit. Maybe one guy or something. I don't remember. I can't remember what it was. They were just trying to help. So
yeah.
But yeah, we're always open to suggestions and all that stuff. I met a guy that actually bought a Pintail picture off of me. Now he's gonna kill me. His name's slipping my mind right now. Nate, I think it was Nate, and him and another guy that follows the channel. They all go do training around and stuff locally. So it might be something we'll get into. Maybe something you might even want to do with Kelly, like do the hunt and test and get some things
for
on her
medals
pedigree
and trophies and stuff like that. Okay.
Well, that, but also to get on in their name to have higher qualifications for Kelly. So like on a registration, it will say like junior hunt test and all this. It'll be on the official paperwork. So
yeah.
What'd you think about? So we registered her 2 nights ago.
Yeah,
pretty easy.
A couple nights ago.
Pretty easy process.
It was real easy, yeah.
Yeah, just what it was, akc.org. Go in there. And so when you bought the pup, did Brother Dean give you all that paperwork?
Yeah, he gave me all that paperwork. I think he signed a couple things, and I signed a couple things, and that was it. He told me to just go online and do all that stuff we did the other night. And yeah.
What do you... So let's start at the beginning now. What was your mindset and your expectations before you got Kelly? Like
how she's gonna be.
Yeah, how training wise, did you think it was gonna be hard, easy? Did you just the whole thing? Like, did you think it was gonna be quick? Did you think it how in the world am I gonna do this? Like, what was the whole
I knew
thought
it was
process?
gonna take some time. I was really excited actually just to start doing it and to get a dog. And yeah, I knew it was gonna be hard, but I was ready for it. I was
ready for the challenge.
Yeah.
Were you ready for the challenge, Morgan? Oh, is your mic not? Is your mic on?
I can't.
Why is his mic not working? Oh, you know what? Because you're. My bad. There we go. Now try it.
Tessie.
Hey, there he is. We're back in action.
And we're back.
Hey, so what I was going to tell everybody is I would never laugh so hard. We went on a hunt last year out of state, and we laughed and laughed and laughed.
The whole trip.
I will say with these knuckleheads and their dad, Jake, which is one of my best friends, we laugh our guts out on trips. Should we tell them the story, Morgan? No?
Yeah,
come on,
tell
Morgan.
that story. Come
Hey.
on.
You guys say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the best
Hey.
I'm pretty sure we're thinking about the
So,
same story.
why? You're on the podcast. You got to talk.
I don't know.
Just do it.
Hey, this is a man's podcast.
Okay.
We can
well,
tell these things.
While we are all sitting in, so there was a room right here. I think Titus was right here, and Dad was over here in this room. And there was a wall. And so I was sitting in right where the staircase is, and there was what would you call it? Like a thermometer?
A carbon monoxide.
Yeah, one
sensor?
of those things.
Alarm, yeah.
There was I was sitting this far from it. It was this far or something. And I was sitting right there on the ground. And I was sitting there. We were talking. We were already laughing in a good mood. And we were just sitting there. And all of a sudden, I let a loud one. It was, I
Wow.
mean, ripped.
Yeah, it sounded like an explosion.
So we were laughing over that. And not even 5 seconds later,
Yeah.
it was right after the thing started going beep, beep, beep.
It literally
That was the funniest thing.
We laughed forever
Forever.
about that.
I go,
We
you
still
just
laugh
set the
over it."
carbon monoxide poisoning sensor off.
He's killing us.
Literally, we're
speak.
dying. We could have died from that. It's
Oh.
dangerous having Morgan around.
Danger zone.
But, oh, man. So we have a trip planned, and we'll start in the dog train in just a second, but we have a trip planned that Kelly, the goal is to get Kelly. Kelly will be, how did we say she's going to be on her first, give or take, almost 10
and a half?
months, right? Is it a little over?
Well, right now she's, tomorrow she'll be 8 weeks
8 months.
or 8 months and 1 week.
Okay. So
I think it's
yeah. Actually, she'll be a little bit before.
a little less than 10.
A little less
Okay.
than 10 months. So she'll be actually younger than Rocky was when he went on his first hunt. And anyways, we're excited. The goal on that is to get her and Rocky are both going to hunt. And Rocky's going to do the beginning part of most of the work. Because, guys, we see them working together when we've worked them together out there. It is so good for both of them.
Oh yeah, it's a great
You
thing
can
for a
see that,
dog.
right? You can see
Mhm.
okay, it teaches them steadiness, it teaches them. The one can watch the other one oh, that's how you do it for Kelly. So our goal is have her completely ready. I believe we talked that you're going to, for the first little bit of the morning, you're going to have your gun down and just holding her ready to work her. And that's so key. And I appreciate that you have that discipline to do that because you have enough common sense to know, if I start off on a bad foot.
Oh yeah, and I'm just as excited almost this season to hunt as I am just to watch her.
Yes.
I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, right. That gets you so pumped knowing, man, it brings a whole nother level. And you've got a taste of it, though, because you've hunted with dogs, a good dog. You've hunted with Rocky a bunch of times, and that makes, you don't notice how good a good dog is until you hunt with a bad dog.
Oh yeah.
And you're just
And honestly, I don't think a dog is all about getting your ducks.
it's not.
How people say, I like getting my own ducks. I understand that, but a dog is so much more than just going and getting your ducks. It's a friend. It's another
It's a hunt
hobby.
partner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hunt partner. It's just so much. It makes hunter a whole nother level.
It does. And the sad part, not to be negative on it, but it's sad that it only lasts for so long.
I
So, I
know,
mean, you
it's
really got to
terrible.
take advantage of every single hunt, every second,
Yeah.
and just build that relationship. It's kind of crazy. Like, I think of the places where me and Rocky have been. We've been all over the place together. He's flown in an airplane over to Kansas with me. He's went to Idaho, to Washington, to Nevada, all over California, from basically our area, the grasslands, up to Northern California to the border of Oregon. I mean, it's crazy, So think about that. I mean, like, those are lifelong memories, And I mean, how do you feel about it, Morgan? What are your thoughts with having Kelly and just? I mean, does it change anything for you? Your mindset going out?
It's just nice having a dog because, like, it's like they're hunting with you, like how you guys said, another partner or whatever. Like, I've watched videos where when your gun's on on safety, right when you click the safety, they're just looking ready.
Right, yeah.
And that's when you know they're good dogs and they're always with you and all that.
Yep.
And it'll just be nice having a dog too. Not only for getting birds, it'll just be nice for my brother.
Yeah.
It's nice seeing him instead of being like out like playing games or something. It's something good for him to do and like outside working with her actually.
Yeah.
And it's cool watching the process like right at Hilling when she first started, how we were talking earlier, watching her trip and like looking around. Now she's like actually doing really good,
right,
which is really cool. I like watching the process of it.
Yeah, the whole progress and everything. Yeah, that's so true. So we talked about you getting her sit, and then you went. Let's see, what did we do next? So we did the sit, which that was at the very beginning. That was young. That wasn't formal training.
We did little things like kennel stuff like that.
You taught her that really quick. What was your process to teaching them to go in the kennel?
Basically the same as sit, the kind of same process, just over and over. Just every time we put her up or anything, we said kennel. And let her hop on a couch or anything kennel. Just anything we did, we always said kennel. And I guess it just clicked.
Yeah,
stuck.
And it does. That's what I've said a lot about this whole thing is just doing over and over and over again. It will stick. It's like a brainwashing process.
Yeah.
So kennel, guys, I've said in the videos, if you haven't watched them, means into or onto. Because some people are like, why? So a lot of people use place. Like go, that's what they say. And that's fine. Some people will say kennel to go inside of a kennel, and they'll say place to go on a certain dog, like a dog stand or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's like Chris Aiken says, and that's fine if that's what people do, but it's redundant, meaning it's the same thing in a different word. So why have a dog multiple words? Try to use as minimum as you can. So into or onto means into a kennel or onto a truck bed or onto a dog stand or onto a couch or like wherever you're trying to put that dog. So taught them that. So then that was kind of the very beginning obedience training where they're learning no, like no. The tone, all your tones that you're using, no. It's different than here, like really nice.
Yeah.
So that's all that little process as they're puppies. Kelly was basically already 8 weeks, end of 8 weeks old, and she already knew those things. I think kennel and no and sit. She might have been a little older for kennel, maybe older. 9 weeks, 10 weeks. But you're training that whole window of time.
Yeah.
You're getting them to do that. Then we didn't start formal training. That was pretty much it. For the most part, you're just socializing them with other people. Man, with all your parties. I mean, Kelly's such a great personality.
Yeah, she does.
And really just going around, getting around people. There's nothing else we really did, was there, in that stage? Like before the 6 months where we just...
You mean being good with other people?
No, just in general, training-wise. That's really all there wasn't nothing else I don't think we do.
No, a lot of attention.
Yeah. Lots of attention. She's really got a good life. The more you can be around your dog with them 24/7, the first several weeks, several months is so key for that bond that creates there. So at 6 months is when the work began, and that we were all chomping at the bit for that. Like, let's get this going, And so what did we start with? I believe it was, was it Hill? I think it was.
Yeah, I think it might have been. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Well, throwing bumpers and stuff like that.
yes, that was that part. Well, that was beforehand though, like just getting her to retrieve and stuff, right?
Yeah. Well,
And bring the point up about that, about retrieving.
About
Like how much? I don't want to say it for you, but like no overkill on it.
yeah, just 5 throws every day, and she loves it. Just like you said, you told me you don't want to. I guess how did you
want to
say
leave
it?
them wanting?
Yeah, leave them wanting. Yeah, definitely, and that just brings up the drive more and more every time you do it. Yeah,
and even if you skip a few days, it's not a big deal. You know, I was telling you, if they're not acting too excited about it, don't do it. Wait for 2-3 days, get back to it, then they're pumped up again. You don't want a low drive dog, you know. Because in her bloodlines, Rocky is a lower drive dog anyways. So, but her mom is higher drive. So that's kind of a good mix for Kelly. Because Kelly's got high drive. You can tell.
Yeah, she does. And she can be pretty mellow, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, at times too, yeah. So we started with the hill training. And it's not that, I'm not going to try to teach it in here, but because we did it in the videos and we talked about how we did it. But like, we started... What was your thoughts on hill? Was that, I know that got a little overwhelming for you at first. I think.
It did. Especially when I was doing it, thinking she was doing good, but I thought she was doing excellent, and then come to find out we were a little too snug. And then when I let off slack to where there's no pressure until I tugged, she wasn't doing the greatest on that because she was used to that pressure, and if she felt that pressure, she knew she was right beside me, solid pressure. And it didn't mess her up. It just kind of...
It stretched it out a little bit. But that, like you said, it didn't mess her up.
Yeah.
It was just she was being trained that way.
Yeah.
Without knowing it, and for both of you. And then I didn't catch it as someone trying to help you. You know, so I mean, I take blame for that. You know, not noticing you had it so kind of tight. Not tight. You weren't dragging her around.
No.
But like you said, she felt the pressure with the check cord. Like, okay, I'm in the right spot. And when you're making turns left or right, making circles,
it'd pull her.
Exactly, it would help her steer, and it wasn't letting her know, hey, my right ear needs to be right by his knee. Like, that's where your dog needs to be, not touching you, not tripping over you, but just at that same point. And once you worked on that, and I will say, how many times a day do you think you would work with her, on and off? You know.
Average 2 times a day, probably 2, maybe 3, 2, probably about average.
And how long?
5, 10 minutes was max. Like that was almost too much. 7 minutes, 5 to.
And you could tell her temperament, right? Like from the time she starts till that point, you're like, okay, she's totally acting like she's.
The second she got to where like I'm done, I totally stopped. Well, I tried to anyway. Sometimes I want to keep doing it.
Fix something, or you didn't like the way something's done. Yeah, but that's key. That's what's key is. Chris Higgins stressed that so much in those DVDs is like you've got to like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, don't overdo it. And you don't realize how quick that goes until you look at the time, you're like, oh my goodness, we need to stop. It's already been 12, 15 minutes. And
that can happen easy if she's doing good.
Super easy. Because you want to keep doing it.
Yeah, because it's even fun.
But what happens is they go backwards.
Yeah.
You know, like you'll do too long, and now she's tired. She's not paying attention as good, and then you get frustrated. She gets down in the dumps because the dogs, their tail stops wagging. You really gotta. Yeah. It's
almost like a hill when you're training. She's doing good, and you will stop before you're at the peak of the hill because once you get the peak, you start going down.
It is such a good
like that.
Yeah, such a good point.
Yeah,
that's so true. And you've got to stop before that point because. You gotta end it on the good note, and I don't know how often you did it, but every once in a while, sometimes when I know I was over there, you end with a fun bumper. That's what he calls it. Just toss it. No discipline, no steadiness. Just go get it.
I forgot about that.
Have fun, you know.
And she's a total different dog when I get that bumper out.
Oh yeah,
she's like, I'm done. Get the bumper. She's a total different dog,
which proves they're not tired.
Yeah,
they're not hurt. They're not sad. They just don't want it. They're done working. They don't want to work. It's like we are when we have to dig a ditch. It's like, ugh. As soon as you say, hey, we're going to go golfing, you're like, hey. You know? So
exactly.
Yeah, so that went really good. I feel like, how long do you think of a process just for that? Not until we went to the e-collar. How long do you think that was? Well, okay. Let me say this. In the middle of that process, we were also doing the sit stay in here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so there was a lot being learned right there.
Yep.
And we weren't accepting anything less than perfection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about that before we ever got into that. It's like, hey, there's going to be times you just want to go move ahead like, oh, that's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not acceptable. Like we
No.
talked about that. And I know you guys were on that same page. And that's what I try to encourage anybody listening. I know a lot of you guys wanted this because some of you are about to get pups or you got some pups and you're at the beginning phases. Do not accept anything less than perfection. And when I say perfection, I don't mean like they're going to go win the grand champion national thing. I'm just talking about like they don't, if you're walking and healed, no dog's perfect, right? But if you're healing and you're putting no pressure on the check cord, the leash, whatever you want to call it, and they're staying right with you and you're making sharp turns and you're doing all this, and I mean, they're on you and it's like, dude, this is amazing. That's great. But if you're turning right and they're in La La Land over here, and then you turn left and they fade off there and they're not paying attention, they jump way ahead of you, because that was one thing Kelly did a lot to you, was try to get way ahead of you.
Yeah, she did.
Whereas Rocky would drag behind. I'd have to jerk to get him up.
She'll do that every now and then, but that's more.
But
rare.
she was more ahead. And so whatever the dog does, every dog's gonna be different. But we were like, we're not moving forward till she stops doing that. Every once in a while they may do that, but I'm saying like, you, for the most part, you want to go days and not have her have an issue like that. And you got her to that point. So then we moved into the e-collar. And I will say, I even was I didn't tell you this, but I was a little nervous about it because I feel like Rocky transitioned into it so good. I was like, did I just get lucky? Or is it really not that hard like you think it is?
Yeah.
We think it is sometimes. I feel like she did good.
She
honestly.
did. She did.
I mean, do you remember what happened that first time we did that?
Well, we kept the lead of the check cord on it at first and just went around in a circle probably twice, not even using I don't know, did we use the shock collar at first? And then we used the shock collar instead just to break it into it?
Well, I think you were doing it at the same time. So if you make a correction, you were hitting on the lowest setting, number one. Trust me, it don't even hurt you. You could put on it don't even feel like you're touching like what's those batteries that you can put your tongue on the two. It's not even like that. It's not even that much of a nick. They call it a nick. It's an electric stimulation, but it literally feels like poking you with their fingernail. It's not hurting the dog. And I will say, I'm gonna do a little rant here for a second. I'm sorry, but it just literally drives me nuts. I am no dog trainer, professional. I have no accolades. I have nothing to show for anything except the dog is to me, Rocky is very well trained, especially when I stay on top of it and I don't get lazy, right? There's some people that fight the e-collar and pressure, ear pinch. They won't do ear pinch. They won't do e-collar. Again, it's your dog, do whatever you want. But they're struggling some people are struggling so bad because they won't do that because they think it's mean to the dog. Do you feel like it's mean to the dog?
Not at all.
Coming from a different person, be honest. If that's how you feel, go ahead and say it. I mean, what was your first thoughts of going to the e-collar? Be honest. Like
going to the e-collar?
Like putting it on her and hitting the button. Was there any concern there? Was there like, I feel kind of bad doing this?
No, I didn't think it. Well, I've had shock collars on all my dogs my whole life. I didn't think anything of it.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I felt bad for her one time when we went to the canal and had it on her, and it was like on 3 because she wasn't reacting with it at all, or 2. And we went to the canal. She got in, got out, and she was not listening. I bumped her, and she just squealed and jumped up. I guess it's that water, huh?
It is. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because that was something I learned with Rocky too. Is it water when they're wet and that's against them, it intensifies it. So that's something you want to pay attention to. But I mean, let me cover for you there. It's not like you're just hitting that and bumping her with that thing all the time. And it's like she was really, I don't know what she was doing, but like whatever it was, just Nathaniel's not going to just
around. Come to you.
He's not going to just do that. Because this is not it's not to punish the dog. In all reality, like Chris says, it's so true. It's to help the dog. It's to save the dog. It's to make the dog better. But it's also to protect the dog. It's an extension of the check cord. When the check cord only goes 30 feet. After that, what happens if you don't have e-collar and you don't believe in that, and that dog's out there 50, 60, 80 yards, and they're running towards the road and a car's coming, and you say no, and they don't listen to you, which they should, you can get it. For the most part, like through a season of duck hunting, when I have the e-collar and Rocky, I bet you only hit it 2 times all season. I literally don't touch it because he listens. But what about that time when the dog's running into the road and they're not hearing you maybe? What are you going to do?
You can't do nothing.
There ain't nothing you
you
can do. You can't reach them. And so that can save your dog's life. An e-collar can stop maybe a fight. Like maybe some crazy dogs come after your dog. You get them to come here and maybe they're not listening because, hey, I'll tell you what. When one dog sees another dog, they almost lose their hearing. They almost lose their mind. Even if they're a calm, mellow dog, it's just instinct. So there's so many reasons. One of the other reasons is for like force fetch and hand signals and drive. There's things that you use that will increase the drive, will make them more snappy when they sit. And it's not a fear factor thing. It's just a quicker reaction thing. So I don't want to stay on that very long because I already ranted enough. But like, I'm telling you, if you're struggling with your dog and you think it's a crime and you think it's wrong to do e-collar, it's not. It's not. And I guess you could say, what do you know? You've only done one dog and you're helping with another one. Yeah, you're right. But when you get enough 4 or 5 years of experience of using a dog with one and without one, I'm telling you right now, it's a massive difference. So right now, we're in force fetch. What do you feel about that? And like, how do you think that's going? Like, kind of talk about what you've had to do with her on that.
I think she's doing pretty good. The thing I make, it could be just me, but I honestly don't think it's the greatest. I mean, it looks good, but I think it's almost too hard and uncomfortable, and she just doesn't like it. I don't think she likes to feel the paintbrush roller. She loves just the feel of it in her mouth, and just even just likes to gnaw on it and everything. I don't let her, but I think she enjoys it better when it's in her mouth and doesn't mind it as much, and it's light. But I mean, a duck isn't very light, but what do you think it's fine?
The small diameter might be something. What, the small one?
No, the paintbrush.
Yeah, oh yeah, the paint roller cover. Yeah. Oh no, it's totally fine. That's what Chris uses with his dogs too.
I mean, just that though, because you go that to a duck that's
really.
heavy.
No, you need to use multiple things, and I was going to talk to you about that anyways. But I mean, you need to use multiple things. Like Chris Aiken said, he would use a stick, piece of wood. He would use a force fetch bumper. He'd use a paint roller cover. He would use, dude, I can't even remember. I think it's in my videos, my old ones with Rocky. But I would grab like random things dumb things that they would pick up. Like, I mean, this isn't a really good example. Like, I'm saying if these were sitting there, I'd be like fetch. I'd say fetch, and he'd pick that up. So the mindset is whatever is there, you have to pick it up.
Yeah.
To the dog, you're brainwashing them, because if it's always a paint roller, then when it comes time to fetch that duck up, is that are they going to do that?
It's not a paint roller.
It's not a paint roller anymore.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to do different objects. You can find stuff around your house. I think look for some things that.
Yeah. I think
once we get her there, and I mean, I still feel like you could switch out.
She is even reaching better since the 2 nights ago you came. She's doing a lot better.
She's
just reaching.
Yeah.
I'll put it down here. She'll lean all the way over across the
she is?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, then she's already doing what I was telling you we wanted to do on the next step.
Yeah.
Because
the first 5 times I do it, she does great. And then she gets in that, I guess you'd say, stubborn, lazy mode. But, I mean, yeah.
It's just force fetch, man. They just, it's not fun for them. After that first beginning learning process. After that, it almost looks like they like it. Like walking fetch, when I did, even Rocky, I just did it the other day just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
He just, he lunges for it, picks it up, and he'll heel, and then we'll walk. Or he'll turn, spin around, sit down, depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
He loves it. Like, and every dog I've seen do that, they love it. So once they get to that point, it basically can turn into a game, like a fun game for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what you want to get to. That's why I said so much praise. Use praise, like over the top. Get loud.
Yeah.
Like, good girl. Good. Like,
I think that's helping too, honestly.
See? Instead of just like, good girl, like it's like almost ridiculous.
Yeah.
Praising.
It is.
But dude, you getting them jacked up. Like, that's what you want, So And that too, with that drive, you can see what that does to a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we'll teach her sit on whistle, so that's coming up pretty soon too, we'll do scenario training for the hunt season. But after that, when we start getting to hand signals and all that, before we get into hand signals, one of the ways you teach them to sit on the whistle where they'll turn around, spin around, sit and look at you, which we'll do later. What you do is it's like you're going to do a fun bumper and you'd be like, hey, 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 hey. You're like swinging around and they're watching the bumper. And if I remember right, don't quote me on this, everybody listening, but okay, that's what it is. This is how easy it is to teach them. Literally in one day, you can have them turn around. No, to sit and turn around, look at you on the whistle. So whistle stop.
Okay, yeah.
This is how easy it is. You'll be like, hey, hey, you're swinging the bumper around. They're going like this. They're bouncing back and forth. And you'll fake throw it. You'll go like that. And they'll turn to look where it went. And you'll hit your whistle. And because it's loud and you're right by them, they'll turn around and look at you. And then you say sit.
Oh, okay.
And that's how easy it is.
Yeah.
And then you can throw the bumper. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy how easy to train that is. I was like, that's it?
Okay, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I was thinking, how are you supposed to train a dog that?
Yeah. And that's how you do it.
Huh.
It's crazy, dude. You'd be shocked how quick they learn that stuff. And one thing I wanted to bring up is when you start training a dog, they're learning how to learn. Does that make sense? They are learning how to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So the more they learn, it's like the easier they learn.
Yeah.
If you notice that with Kelly, she's learning harder things quicker. Once she gets out of the force fetch, it will even go quicker because that to me is one of the hardest things. You get through force fetch, it's like everything else. Like, how did they learn that easy? Like, really holding. To me, she picked up holding like. Boom,
oh yeah, she did.
Like the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And what did we do for that?
I
can't remember.
What I did, I stuck her finger right where there's a soft spot, and she shut her mouth. She'd keep her mouth shut and hold it.
Mm-hmm.
Just right there, kind of.
You grab the roller, you put it in,
stick it in, and
clear her lips, like pull her lips off the side
because
so
it
not
did
biting
get
her lips.
caught.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just hold underneath there.
Just
and say hold.
When she looks like she's just playing with it or anything with her tongue,
toying it.
Just kind of shove up. It's almost like a soft spot almost.
It is.
She'd shut her mouth.
Yeah.
Or hold on to it.
Clamp on.
And now she'll hold on. I haven't tried as long as I can.
Wow.
But she can for a long time.
Yeah, she'll hold as long as you want her to.
Yeah, really, she will.
Yeah, she's doing really good. Again, guys, all that's in the videos. I know some of it, we're not being like super in depth about it, but it's all we're in depth in the videos. We're just kind of talking about the whole process. I mean, how do you feel it's going?
I think she's doing good. It's a slow process, but I think she's doing well. I guess it is. You want to be in a hurry.
It's only like 2 months.
Yeah,
think about it.
Yeah, it hasn't. It's not that it's been. It's almost like okay, I'm ready for the next step, kind of thing. I guess you'd.
I bet you are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am too, because we're gonna go out to our local public land refuge that they leave open, and we're gonna go do scenario training. I mean, how fun is that gonna be?
That's gonna be a blast.
Like we're all gonna. Yeah, we're all gonna throw our waders on, take a couple ducks, let them thaw out like actual live birds. Take some blanks out there. That's going to be stinking fun.
It'll be really fun.
That's going to get us so pumped for season, getting mosquito a bit all over, just everywhere.
Awesome.
Isn't that your favorite, Morgan?
It's horrible.
Oh, man. You know what, though? How quick would you take that right now just to start duck hunting, man?
Oh, man.
Just like that.
I can't wait. We don't got a long time.
No, not that long at all.
Really, we don't.
Like you said, about 2 months, huh?
Yeah. It's going to be close, so got lots of big plans. Morgan, what's your kind of goal? Do you have any like goals this season, plans like what in your mind, like bird wise, or like a bird you want to shoot, or how many birds you want to shoot?
I want to shoot a canvasback.
Canvasback,
and I doubt it'll happen, but I want to try to do the trifecta.
Hey, it could.
That would be fun.
Have you ever got close?
I got a Drake Cinnamon and a Drake Greenwing and lost the Drake Bluewing.
You're kidding me.
I've had both, and
so you kind of did it.
One.
I mean, you can't claim it.
I saw it, and I didn't know what it was, but it was real pretty, and I didn't want to blow it up, and I ran over there, and it just right before it ducked, it looked at me. I was like, "That's a bluewing," and went under, and I lost it. It was gone.
Are you kidding me?
It was right by his toolies. Just bloop. Gone.
Oh, and see if you had a Kelly.
Yep.
Never happened. Kelly is gonna. Oh man.
Oh
Can't
man, I'm
wait.
excited.
Dude. Now, don't get over the top as far as her nose this year. They say the dog's nose.
Like expectations.
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather something surprise me over the top. Like, I can't believe they do that than think they're going to do some,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
miracle worker.
Yeah.
And then they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
kind of keep low expectations and then let them blow your mind. Like, how in the world? Because their nose is not fully, what's the word I was looking for?
Developed.
Fully developed in their first year. They're age-wise, if they're young like she is what I've been told. And I did notice an unbelievable difference between the first year and second year. The nose.
Oh, with Rocky's
Yeah.
nose.
Just
Yeah.
crazy. And as soon as they figure out what the goal is, like they've got to search and look and smell out these ducks, it's just, they know what to do, man. Like after that, you just go fetch them up. Like, and that's where you'll use that word, fetch.
Mm-hmm.
I say fetch them up. Maybe I shouldn't say fetch them up because that's not the one single word like fetch.
Mm-hmm.
But getting your dog pumped up, you've heard me do that with Rocky. Fetch him up.
Yeah.
Come on, fetch him up. And his tail, the more I say it, the more his tail's
Yeah.
going, the more he's sniffing. He's like, I want to find this bird for
He tries
dad.
harder.
Yeah. So those are little things you'll build that bond with Kelly, like with naturally, like how you'll do it different or whatever. You know, you'll have your own way and method. But I just can't wait to watch that with you guys. Like, you guys, I know you'll be calling me. You're never gonna believe this.
Yeah, we will.
It's totally
be
gonna happen.
every hunt.
Yeah, probably.
So.
That's so awesome. Your dad will be just as much doing that
Oh
as
yeah,
you.
he gets just as excited. Mom will too. She'll be calling you.
Yeah.
telling you.
Does Rocky pick up geese
He does now.
now?
He struggled the first couple years, but he didn't have any exposure to him.
Because he got pecked or one.
Well, no, the coot.
Oh.
So the coot got him, and that's where I was like, man, that's why I do not want to mess up Kelly. That's
Oh,
part.
yeah, I
That's
forgot
part of a
about that.
dog's drive too, though. If a dog's aggressive and has high drive, they'll want to rip that duck's head or goose's head off. They don't care.
Yeah.
But a dog like Rocky, that's more of just kind of a chill, like,
Yeah.
and it's weird because I've seen him be aggressive. I've seen him just like, just rip a duck like, and I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? And I've seen him do that with geese too. Actually, when we went up north last year in the Sac Valley,
Yeah.
and I shot those 3 snows,
Mm-hmm.
I actually found the footage. I'll show you guys when we get off here
Did
real
you?
quick. Yeah, I got when I shot the banded pinto. I had that on GoPro.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I didn't make a video.
that one.
I didn't think I got that on video. I got Rocky bringing it back to me, and then the stinking GoPro died. So I
With
didn't.
the pintail.
Yeah, with the banded pintail.
Oh,
But I didn't get me like realizing it had a band on it.
that would have been so cool.
I'll show you the clip
man.
when we're done with this episode. But where was I going with that? Oh, about how he was aggressive with all 3 of those geese. You can see it in the video and brought them right back to me.
Was he?
So I'm like, now 2-3 years of like the first 2 or 3 years, he'd be like, oh, don't hurt me.
Yeah, when
you
we
know?
went that same refuge 2 years ago.
Yes, he was doing
Yeah.
that then, huh?
Yep.
Oh,
Me
that
and
would drive me
Dad.
nuts. And again, part of that's my fault because I sent him out in a stupid coot that was alive, and it was literally like his first
Yeah,
retrieve.
that goose was alive too, huh? That's probably what
Yeah,
messed him. You
But
think?
see, I still think he's a little bit intimidated by him. Like,
By the
okay,
geese?
last year he didn't pick that honker up because that honker was still alive.
don't
So
think
I
was
really
there.
make a point to build his confidence up, even though he's 4 years old.
Mhm.
That I really want any geese completely dead. Ducks he don't care about that,
Yeah.
but they're bigger, so it intimidates him. Which I get embarrassed for that and hate that.
I
but
wouldn't be
it is what it
surprised if Kelly barks at her first geese.
is.
She barks at. There was a plastic bag rolling around in the yard, just a bag, and she was freaking out over it.
Running
She
back
ran
and
around
forth,
just in
barking.
circles facing it
That's hilarious.
for probably 2 to 5 minutes, just solid, just barking at her. Scared to
That's so
death.
funny.
It was fun, and she barks at every little thing.
Then
She has the deepest
Once she
bark.
figures it out, she runs and grabs it and drags it away.
Yeah.
She has the deepest bark. It's crazy. I was like, man, for a little.
That's one thing about her. When she, like, if we take our shoes off, she'll grab that shoe, drag it off, and don't touch it. Just
Yeah.
She
drop
don't
it.
chew it up.
She don't chew it up,
That's
but it's
good.
annoying how she takes it away.
Yeah, it gets
It is
all
annoying.
Yeah.
And
But-
then we'll tell her no. We'll go inside, and then we'll look out back out in the yard, and it's in the yard. She's a brat.
Yeah. She's a good dog though.
Yeah, she
super,
is.
super great personality. Yeah, really good looking dog. Can't wait to see her out there. What do we wear? 58,
Yeah, 2 nights ago, 58.8 pounds.
Okay, and you're feeding her
Eukanuba. I forgot what kind it was. I know it was the
It's a
youth.
puppy.
It was the puppy youth.
large breed puppy, I think.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay,
You can use it up to 2 years.
2 years, so
Yeah.
you'll just stick with that up to
And
2.
I looked at it, or I measured it. What did I do? I wrote it down on our calendar when we got it, bought the bag and started feeding her the day of, and then stopped. I think the bag lasted 5 weeks.
Yeah, you told me that,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty good
Yeah,
for a 33-pound bag. I think it's
yeah.
a 33-pound bag.
Honestly, she's way better in shape. And honestly, the other stuff that's cheaper, it's $35, maybe $40,
Mhm.
and it lasts less than that because we're not giving her a, I guess you'd say, definite amount of food. So if you're using less Eukanuba and it's lasting a lot longer, it's almost the same price, probably 10 to 20 difference.
And it's so much better.
Oh yeah.
What about going to the bathroom? That's the other thing.
Going to the bathroom and just
Well, your dad, I don't know if that was you that said that, or dad said it is a noticeable difference.
yeah.
With that cheap dog food, they'll go to the bathroom like 5 or 6 times a day.
It's nasty stuff.
Yeah. And it's all mush, and not to be gross, but and then with the Eukanuba, once her body adjusted to it, it's like a couple times a day, max.
And just there's just several things about it. Even her coat being really shiny, we could tell that. Even just watching the video.
Yeah.
Just from the beginning to now, she's always had a good coat. I could tell that Eukanuba, or a soft, shiny coat.
Yep. So that's definitely something you want to keep going, checking is Eukanuba, guys. I know there's other foods out there, but I will say that it's by far. I have some crazy testimonials with that dog food from friends of mine too. That just proves when they get older, it has. I think the puppy blend does too, but it has glucosamine and chondroitin, which is major joint. Oh my word, man! I never can think of words on here. I sound like a moron. Supplements. So it's like it's a joint supplement. It's really good for them because a lot of labs, their shoulders will go bad or their hips. So, anyways, well, we probably got to get off here and get going here in a second. But anything else you want to say about training or this season? I know we pretty much stayed on dog training, but we're real close to being done with force fetch.
Yeah.
And like I said, she's only 8 weeks in a month, or 8 months and a week old.
Yep.
But
are we doing it younger than normal? Is that about the age?
No,
Chris Aiken did it too.
Yeah, there's dogs that I've seen done at
Okay.
8 months, maybe even younger.
Oh, really? Okay.
But it's just on how much you work with them.
Yeah.
You can't expect, if you're not working with them, you can't expect them to be better than they are. But when you're working with them and they're getting it,
yeah,
you're good. You know.
Yep.
I mean, I just, like you said, you don't want to start no younger than 6 months. I mean, maybe some people do. Okay, one more thing I want to say before we close this. Just don't do steadiness. Don't steady your dog. Don't make them sit there for retrieves. We'll do that because look at here's a prime example of one phase of training preparing him for another phase. Sit stay. Okay, see where I'm going with this? Sit stay. Nathaniel will say sit, and the reason we say sit stay, you totally understand that now. But at first you're like, why are you saying sit stay? So sit stay. When you tell your dog sit, they are to stay there. Those are two redundant words again. When you say sit, unless you tell them here or heel, they are not to leave that spot. You don't need to stay. There's no point of saying it, right? You say sit, and then you walk away. Nathaniel will walk all over the place, or Morgan. I think even Morgan does that with her sometimes. You guys walk all over the place. She will not budge. She's really very steady. Okay.
Yeah.
That's see where I'm going with this? So now where it translates is when we get to the duck pond and she's sitting on the dog stand and we start doing scenario training for duck season and you say sit, she won't get up from there. And she's going to know when you say sit that she ain't supposed to get up until you say Kelly, or that's when you steady them. But in between there, until you get to the hunt-based scenario, don't be forcing your dog to sit and then throw the bumper and then say Kelly or back. We won't do back right now, but you know what I'm saying? You don't need to work on that right now because she knows what sit means. But we don't want to take away her drive.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we make them sit and they're still pretty young and you want them to want that bumper or that duck so bad they can't stand it, you want to build that up. And then all to a sudden, it gets to a point, it gets to that peak, and now we're going hunting. And now we want them to feel that way about that duck, but we also want them to be disciplined.
Yeah.
So
the day of the duck hunt, we'll keep them?
No, when we go to the scenario training, that's when we're going to start that. We're going to make sure that she sits like she's supposed to because she already knows how. Mm-hmm. She knows how to sit, stay.
Yep.
And then you will not send her until you want her to.
Okay.
So we'll make it easy at first, kind of be like, as soon as it hits the water, actually, whoever's going to throw it, probably Morgan or your dad, throw that duck over, like maybe behind where it comes up. Boom, we'll shoot the cap or the blank. As soon as it hits the water, you could tell she's looking at it. You say, Kelly, like right out the gate, because she's so new. Mm-hmm. It's her first time doing this kind of scenario-based training. You want her to go. Well, we'll do that. Maybe, I don't know. We won't do it nothing crazy. Maybe 6-7 times while we're out there. We'll go out there again a few days later. This time, it's crawl, walk, run, right? You heard Chris say that. Crawl, walk. You don't want to go right out the gate and do stuff crazy.
Yeah.
The next time we'll go out there, what we'll do is kind of throw her off. She might break. You're going to have the short leash. You're going to have to get one of those, like an 18-inch leash where it's on her. You're not going to put pressure on her. You're not going to be holding her so she feels pressure like doing heel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're going to let it loose. But if she goes to jump off, she's going to hit the end of that thing, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what we'll do is duck comes flying through the air. Boom, boom. We might even shoot 2 different guns with the blanks to kind of create that scenario like it will be. It's going to hit the water, and we're going to be like, yeah, good shot. High five. And she's going to hear all these loud noises thinking you're wanting her to go, but she's got to stay.
Yep.
She's got to learn that. And then when we're all done celebrating, and this is training.
Yeah.
Kelly. And then boom. You know what I mean? So that is what we're looking forward to.
That's just great discipline.
How fun is that?
Oh, it's a blast.
And how good is to see a dog that will just rock solid.
And you want that too, especially if you're hunting with different people that'll just blast. If a duck flies over and your dog's out there, yeah.
And that's not as bad as it. Okay, because let's say Kelly's going to get a duck, and another group of ducks come in, and you guys shoot, because we're going to train for that stuff too. That's a different scenario. And they drop. She should come back no matter what if they fall right in front of her and bring that one duck back, and then go back to get the other ones. Okay, but what worries you, what I think you were really meaning to say is what's scary is if she's not disciplined and she bounces out before you tell her to, and that duck hits the water and he's still alive, and your buddy goes to shoot it on the water, and that's how dogs get killed. So you want to make sure no ducks are moving, everything's good, everybody's good, send her.
Yeah.
So, and I've had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah. Okay, not to get off subject, but explain. I don't know if I'm just a dumbo and just didn't understand this, but blind retrieves. Remember camping?
Yeah.
I asked you about and you said, "Oh, that's blind retrieves," and I said, "I thought blind retrieves you got to be in an actual blind with cover and stuff." I thought that's what.
No, so blind retrieve is when they don't see the duck fall or the bumper fall. They don't see where it was. It's just out there. You set it out there when they weren't paying attention. They didn't know. That's a blind retrieve.
Yeah.
Okay. They're in the blind. They don't know where it's at. But when you're sending them back, like say in a straight line, we'll teach that later, right? But you're sending them in a straight line. They need to run on that straight line, whatever way is you point them, right? Because they're on their side of you, and you'll shift your body like, okay, the duck. So I know it fell over there. She didn't see it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna line her up, say back. That's when you use the word back because it's a blind retrieve.
Okay, I was wondering that watching a video the other day. What's the difference?
Or sometimes on doubles and triples, like there's 3 birds out there, you'll say Kelly, and then she'll come back. You could still say Kelly on all the other ones.
Yeah,
but
then it turns into a blind retrieve because if there's 3, she didn't see where the other 2 went.
Right, maybe not. Sometimes they do. That's why we do marking drills too, because you'll throw up a couple bumpers. She'll watch that one, boom. Then we'll throw another one, boom. And then we'll send her on that one. She comes back, then you'll send her on that one. So she's seen those. Those are like a memory. That's like a memory skill.
Yeah.
But some, I'm talking about blindness where they never seen it. They have no clue. Well, you send them, there's a patch of tulies over there, or you can see the duck floating, but she never seen it.
Yeah.
You'll line her up, you'll say back, and that's where hand signals come in straight. Because if she kind of veers off, you can whistle, send her over. Yeah, dude, it's I get all pumped talking about this. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But we really need to end this one. Does that make
Okay.
sense for the
Yeah,
blind
it
retrieves now?
Yeah.
They didn't see it. They did
Uh-huh.
not see it fall.
Yeah.
They never. You're just sending them in a straight line.
Uh-huh.
And we are gonna try to get to that this season. But if we don't, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, blind
Yeah.
retrieves, hand signals.
Mhm.
We should be able to. In between hunts, and why not?
Yeah.
She's learning it. She'll know it. She can learn that easy.
Yeah.
Might as well take
Might
advantage.
As well, yeah.
It's easy to teach. It really
Yeah.
is. But all right, guys. Well, hopefully our conversation helped you guys listening and piqued the interest and maybe helped a few people with some tips. Hopefully. But any closing thoughts, Morgan?
Nope.
Ready for some mallards and Mountain Dew?
I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. Green and green.
Some green wings and some blue wings and some cinnamons and some pintails. What's your favorite duck?
Probably a shoveler.
Shoveler. What's yours?
I'm just partial to mallards.
You are too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. Everybody has a different taste. I mean, I love pintails.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Out of prettiness, I think a wood duck's the prettiest duck.
definitely the
honestly.
best colors.
Mhm.
I agree with you on that.
They're just beautiful ducks.
Yeah. 100% agree.
But there's nothing funner than shooting a Drake shoveler because they're
Oh,
they're
man.
almost done. They come into it.
Yeah.
And they just come right in. It's
Right
so
there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hearing
That's
like-
true. Yeah. They just lock up from the heavens.
Mhm.
But I
Little
do
thing.
like how you have to work real hard to get some mallards.
Yes.
That's what I like.
The challenge of it's
yeah,
fun.
the challenge.
Yeah. So-
Can't just go out there and just shoot limits. You
Right.
have to work for it.
Exactly.
That's
Mhm.
what
And
I
if you
like.
do, it's something to be said. Like, you did that. That's pretty good. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that takes time and experience, but it's going to be fun. So, well, all right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you on the next one.